And we're back. We
Finally.
said when saying goodbye, language matters. Language matters because language shapes our realities. But also what shapes our realities is the representation. And you cannot be what you cannot see. This is the topic of the conversation I will have with my dear colleagues from Ringier, Axel Polska, Aleksandra Karasińska, editor-in-chief of Forbes Women Polska, and Katarzyna Gaweł, EqualVoice leader and head of internal communication. Good afternoon, ladies.
Hello,
No,
hi.
good afternoon.
So, just to make a point out of it, 3 women and 1 man for the sake of balance.
So
Again.
we have the representation for this time.
Again.
Thank you for joining us for this conversation today. And we want to focus on gender representation in media, right? And to start that conversation, I want to bring to our attention the Global Gender Gap Report, and especially the one released this year that shows that we are actually not making any progress, are actually going back. In 2020, there was a number of 107 years needed to reach the gender equality. The data from 2022 mentioned 132 years. We can connect it to the global pandemic and the impact of that on the global societies.
Which again begs for the insight to the methodology to this study, but still.
Well, we're not here to discuss that part. We're here to discuss the gender equality in Poland and around the world. Ola, maybe I will start from your side. Are female voices and opinions heard in the public space?
You well know, because you're also an expert, that no, the answer straightforward is no. Women voices are not represented fully, are not represented equally. And I can back up this with some numbers. We publish research every year in Forbes Women, and so we do it with Media Monitoring Institute. And not only we are not progressing here in Poland, but actually we are stepping backwards. And every year we publish this report. Last year it was 21% of women in major news outlets in Poland, so major TV programs. 21. Last year it was 24. This year it is only 21, and so we have this significant drop in presence of women in news outlets. And mind you, this is important. This is actually something we should be worried about, because these programs are watched by 6 million people every day. So these programs have huge impact of how society, how people perceive reality. And if we don't have women voices, we basically we see society in actually not equal way, in a not democratic way. We all know that women are half of a society, and yet in media we only have, in TV, we only have 21% of female voices.
Ola, that number, 21%, it's a huge disproportion, right? Are we talking here about journalists and people hired in the media, or in general the appearance on the screen?
In general, we count voices, so people who speak in the news, in the materials, not the journalists, but the experts or witnesses or so-called, witnesses of some occurrence or events. So
And it's news programs primarily, right?
The voices that speak in the media, in 79% are male.
It's impressive in the negative way. I'm speechless to a certain extent. So I will give voice to Kasia and on her perspective on the situation in the Polish media in particular and the gender equality there.
And for the sense of restoring balance, it's better if I don't talk at all during this part.
It doesn't work that way, Łukasz. It doesn't work that way. Kasia.
Well, as Ola said, it depends on the kind of media, because we have also this international report survey done every 5 years. It's Global Media Monitoring Project. And the last one was in 2020. And it was said there that women are represented in every kind of media only in 26%, and in the news media in 24%. And in Poland, generally, the situation is a little bit better, because in traditional media such as TV, radio, newspapers, female voices are represented in 28%, and in digital media, so internet media, the percentage is a little bit higher, and it's 32%. It was in 2020, so you can guess that nowadays the situation is even worse, as Ola said.
Thank you for those statistics. It is better, yet it's far away from being equal or balanced. And let me enter the space where I was like, it will sound weird if I ask that question. Yeah, I think it's worth for the sake of our audience. Why it matters to represent the voices equally?
This is
Okay,
how you stir a hornet's nest.
Yeah, Sandra, I will just say it very quickly. Maybe Kasia would like to add something. Because, media is really a powerful tool that shapes our norms, our social norms. So what media shows, this is what we believe it's just, or this is how reality is. But as we saw in the numbers, these media outlets are actually not neutral. They are biased, and they not represent the society in an equal way. So what is the result? For example, we lack female role models. So we lack role models for young women, for young men also, to see that the female person, a citizen, can be a chancellor or the president or the prime minister or an expert in economy or a scientist. So we are really not showing in the media what are possibilities, what are opportunities for women in society.
So we're back to you cannot be what you cannot see, right?
Exactly.
What is your organization doing to change the status quo?
Over
I
and
can
above
answer this
awareness
question.
raising, of course.
Yeah. I can answer
The
this
question to Kasia, yes.
Yeah. So 2 years ago, because we were discussing this stuff with our journalists. Yeah, we as media company, the biggest one in Poland, we should set the standards. We should show gender equality in our media. So we were discussing this stuff, but it was always like a very subjective opinion. Yeah, we don't show, we do show, etc. So 2 years ago, we implemented EqualVoice factor that measures every content in every our websites. So it scans every article and every picture, and it says that this article is in, let's say, 20% about women. Yeah. So now the discussion is based on data. I can approach one of our brands and say, last month you mentioned women, or you wrote about women only in 10%. So what can we do about this? And nowadays we can discuss it on specific data. So it's a very objective discussion. And finally, our journalists see the problem.
What's the response from their side? How do they react to that data?
Well, they are really surprised. Yeah, they cannot believe it. But we can generate this data on a daily, monthly, yearly basis, so as they wish. And now they are looking for solutions. So we also cooperate with them to help them with the solutions.
Well, the data shows clearly, and we cannot stand behind our biases when we see the data anymore, right?
Even though we have Ringier Axel Springer talking to Ringier Axel Springer.
No. It's our, we are half-daughters.
Exactly.
Ola, you are editor-in-chief of a very special product, at least from my perspective. I think the moment of launching Forbes Women in Poland was a historical moment. And I was wondering if you could reveal with our audience here some insights behind doing that. What was the general idea of having Forbes Women in Poland while there was already a very strong brand of the general Forbes?
Thank you for this question, Sandra. You know, I'm a journalist with really long experience. I used to work in TV, in radio, and in newspapers like Newsweek or Forbes, and also in digital media. So during my careers, I really felt I had this impression from my experience that women are not represented equally. You know, being a producer, editor, reporter, newscaster, you know, you can have this general overview, being an expert. But when we have the numbers that Kasia mentioned, I'm very happy because these numbers are supporting my feelings and my, experience, the way I feel about media, that they are not balanced. So when I had an occasion to start a new project, I went to my bosses and said, look, in the United States, they have Forbes Women. Why don't we have something similar? So we started it, and there were many, opinions about it. But, I'm experienced person. I got used to opinions. So one of the opinions was that we will not have enough topics to write because what women, there are not many women in economy. And 4 years later, when the magazine is quite successful, you can see that there are, enormous amount of female entrepreneurs in Poland, a lot of scientists, a lot of experts, economists that are doing great things in Polish society. But we also write about trends and about, global economy. But basically, what I can tell you, Sandra, is that definitely we fulfill the need or the lack in the Polish media market, that specifically we talk about female business, female entrepreneurs, an economy called womenomics, so economy from the female perspective. And because somebody is reading it, because people are buying the magazine and actually reading it online and paying for it, it means that there is need for it. So I believe that,
proof of that,
yes,
right?
Absolutely.
We're unfortunately running out of time, and there's only one question I want to also ask Kasia before we conclude. We've heard about the data you're using. On a more practical level, what else is happening to change the situation in the media industry and the presence of women there?
Yeah, we created a very, very simple tool. Yeah, there's a website and a female expert database where every female expert can sign in, just giving, name, surname, contact details, the fields of expertise, and also the form of public speaking she would like to, she prefers. So it can be an interview, it can be a visit in the studio, etc. And on the other hand, this database has a search engine where every company can look for female experts. And the tool, this is very important, it's free and it's open for every female experts and for every company organizes conferences, debates, media company, etc.
Fantastic. That way we cannot hear anymore the excuse, we didn't know women who are experts in that field. Thank you for sharing the insights from your organization and joining us today. Have a good afternoon and talk to you soon.
Thank you for
Katarzyna,
having us.
Aleksandra, it's been absolutely brilliant to have you both with us. And in case it hasn't sunk in, let us just repeat. It used to be 24% last year. Now it's 21, so a 3% decline. Globally, it was 26 for all content, 24 for news media, and 28 in Poland. So only in that category, it's marginally better. But let us just make this point super important. The awareness levels are definitely far too low. I would imagine few people in a society at large understand that as far as the media are concerned, there is huge unfair underrepresentation, and that simply needs to change because it's not a panel discussion. It's not even a hiring process in a company that can be related to different types of discriminatory practices. It's objectively wrong that we don't have enough women representation in the media. And with that, let us close. After a short break, we'll talk about the language. Thank you.
Thank you.
Perfect summary. Thank you.